let's go to the board one more time.
Valenzuela there also?
She's not in the room. She's meeting with another client, Ms. Renanza.
Okay, thank you. So we have there at Angola in support, April Rodman, Mr. Fuller's sister, a brother Jason, his mother Ms. Barbara Fuller, sister Delshonda Fuller, and another brother Robert Washington. On Zoom, you'll see we have Ron Hicks, and also here with us we have the Parole Project, Mr. Andrew Hunley, who will be speaking in support. At the DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge, which is usually where we are located, there is a room full of support. We have Taronda Woodard, Carl Garrett Davis, Chandrika Diggs, Terrence Wynn, Dwayne Jett. I believe they're all with pipes. Promise of Justice, Sarah Gonzalo, Michael Cahoon, and also Kara Crutcher, an attorney, who are there in support. And for those who've indicated they want to speak, we'll call on them at the appropriate time and we'll allow them to do so. First, Mr. Fuller, I'm going to read some identifying information into the record and ask you to verify if it's correct.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are classified as a first felony offender.
Yes, ma'am.
You had a resentencing date in Caddo Parish in October of 2016 on a second-degree murder conviction. You're serving a life sentence with the eligibility of parole. So you were resentenced in 2016 to give you the parole eligibility. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So the parole eligibility date is December 6, 2020. Is that your understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so I'm sure Mr. Lancaster has explained the process, but your case has been assigned to me. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. We'll hear from the warden and those who are in favor and support. And we'll hear from Mr. Lancaster, and then we'll have some more questions for you after everybody speaks. So
Yes,
first, just tell us why you're in jail.
I'm incarcerated because as a 17-year-old kid, I'm I made a decision as a kid to first disrespect my mama. She woke me up for school one morning and she thought I was going to school. And I skipped school to go from girl's house. In the process of me skipping school, I got with a friend named Kendra Williams. And I took him with me. We were doing drugs, smoking weed, and we supposed to been going over some girl's house. And in the process of us going over some girl's house, Mr. Willie Graham. Mr. Willie Graham lost his life because of a decision I made to first skip school and then hang with him. Mr. Willie Graham lost his life because of that. And I'm responsible for that. Because if I wouldn't have did that, Mr. Willie Graham would have never lost his life like that. And to the victim, everybody that he left behind. And I'm sorry. I know I was a kid then. I know I was young. Man, I am so sorry. And I know I can't change that. If I can breathe life back into Mr. Willie Graham, I would in a heartbeat. And I know I can't. But I just want to say, man, I'm so sorry for the mistakes I made as a kid. I know I made mistakes in life. I know I didn't make the right decisions all the time. I made a lot of them. Even here, since I've been incarcerated, I didn't always do the right thing. For the life that was taken and me being responsible for that, I'm so sorry. But that's why I'm incarcerated on this murder charge.
Okay. We'll have some more questions for you in a little bit. Could we hear from the Parole Project, please?
Good morning, Andrew Hunley with Louisiana Parole Project. Here to confirm that James Fuller is a client of our organization. We've been working with him several years. I know his attorneys provided a brief and we'll give testimony later about his accomplishments. I can tell you our organization's committed to his reentry in the event that he is released based on his institutional record. We believe that all he has done, especially the programming that he started before he was parole eligible, before Miller and Montgomery, he started that track towards rehabilitation. It wasn't always a straight path, but he started it long before he was ever parole eligible. And even whenever he was denied parole, he continued to take additional programming. And he is a leader within the prison today. We can tell you that he recognizes that the best reentry plan isn't to reside in Caddo Parish, based on that's where he caused considerable harm. Parole Project's willing to take him into our reentry program in the Baton Rouge area and give him long-term residence as he works towards his reentry in the Baton Rouge area and not to return to a residence in Caddo Parish. If he's released to us, in addition to housing, we commit to long-term case management. As the board's aware, our organization has done the bulk of the reentry for Louisiana's juvenile lifers, and by and large, they've been ultimately successful, and we've been able to create a community of support for him based on his employable skills and the age he is now. We feel like this is the point where he can be released. He's still young enough to start a career, earn, and work towards self-sufficiency. In short, our organization's committed to provide long-term case management and support if he is granted release by this board today, and I stand by for any questions you may have about his reentry plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Hicks, Ron Hicks, please.
Good morning to this honorable board. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of Mr. James Fuller. I have known James for many, many years and seen how his life has been in a transition of growth from a perspective of understanding where he went wrong at in his life and trying to make the right decisions and put himself in the right place to get the help needed to be rehabilitated. Mr. Fuller, I consider him as my spiritual son. I've provided spiritual encouragement to him, spiritual counseling, heart-to-heart felt talks about how to move forward, how to be the person that God created him to be. And through those conversations that I've had over the years with Mr. Fuller, I've seen the progress that he's made. He's completed successfully a lot of the DOC-approved programs within the prison. These programs address rehabilitation, they address personal responsibility, they address positive decision-making, which is very reflective in Mr. Fuller's package, which Mr. Lancaster will talk about later. He's just demonstrated growth, continual growth, not growth and then stop, but a continual process of growing as an individual with the understanding that he can't undo the things that he's done, but he can be a person that can help shape the lives of other people in the future. Not only did Mr. Fuller take these programs, but now Mr. Fuller is also providing, as a facilitator, guidance with other inmates, bringing them through the programs that was so helpful to him to get on the right path and understand the destructive nature that he once exhibited. Now being a more productive person, Mr. Fuller is guiding other individuals in that process. As you've noted, Ms. Renasser, at the beginning of your opening, you acknowledged the support that he had as relates to family members. He has a solid family support system that's backing him. And as Mr. Andrew Huntley has stated with the Louisiana Parole Project, support from the Louisiana Parole Project is a plus. And I'm going to come alongside in any way that I can spiritually to help Mr. Fuller if the board sees fit to grant his parole today. I will stand by him. I will encourage him. I will continue to be a spiritual support and a person that will speak directly to him and try my best to guide Mr. Fuller in a direction that is so needed in our society to help other individuals, other young people to get on the right path. We need a Mr. Fuller here in Baton Rouge or wherever the board sees fit for him to live, to help other young individuals see the destructive nature of their behavior and get on the right path. And I think Mr. Fuller will be a great person to fulfill those obligations. In conclusion, I want to say that Mr. Fuller's rehabilitation, his leadership, his strong family support system demonstrate that he's ready for parole and prepared for success upon his release. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of Mr. Fuller. God blessings.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks. And there at Angola, we have Mr. Fuller's sister, April Rodman.
Thank you.
You can sit down.
Yeah,
Sit
down.
They can hear you. They can hear you. Okay.
Hello, my name is April Fuller Redmond, and I am the sister of James Lee Fuller. I am writing strongly to support my brother's character. Having known James Fuller my entire life, I have maintained contact through phone calls and visitation during his time of being incarcerated. As I always remember, the role James upheld in my life as a big brother, I must say that has never changed. I am most proud of the many achievements James has been able to accomplish despite of his situation. Just to name a few, James has received his GED, welding certifications, taken fatherhood classes without even being a father. That alone represents the type of love James withholds within his heart for not only people, but children as well. I have personally observed him being active in the work release program and highly looked up to by other inmates during visits while at Angola prison. Leadership has always been instilled in James from our growing up days when our mother would have to leave for work and James was left in charge over my other younger sibling and I. Even as a young child, I have yet to witness James or even known of him to have had any altercations with anyone of any sort. There is one thing I know about James. Once he put his mind to it, he will do it. I recall one of our most important conversations we had was him getting to know God. James made me a promise that he would cast all his cares upon the Lord and seek to follow God's will for his life. Without a shadow of a doubt, James held on to that promise, and the proof of that is us here today on James' behalf at this parole hearing. Upon release, I am fully and faithfully committed to supporting James Lee Fuller's reintegration into society. My main focus will be to take James on a visit to our family's church, United Outreach in Bossier City, Louisiana, to allow him the opportunity to be reconnected to God first by baptism. Everything else will fall in place under God's will for James' life. Thank you for allowing me to speak on my brother's behalf.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your remarks. Warden Ambo, could you tell us anything about Mr. Fuller?
Okay, I can tell you that Mr. Fuller
has been, a model inmate. He does have, paperwork saying that he completed a victim, impact letter. He just completed it on, 29th of January. I had it faxed over to you. Other than the welding, the STAR program, you know, he got his GED, Malachi Dad, what everybody else, you know, said to y'all and stuff like that. All I can say is that, you know, we have no problem here with James at, Louisiana State Penitentiary. And he has been a model inmate and he's ready to go back into society.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Lancaster, we'd like to hear your presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Renata, Mr. Tillis, and Mr. Prater. As mentioned, James was 17 years old at the time the crime occurred. He spent 30 years here at Angola. He's now 47 years old. If you look at his time that he spent in prison, it does show a path where now he demonstrates maturity and rehabilitation. He's a Class A trustee here at Angola. That's the highest status, minimum status here. He is a resident of Camp F, which is the trustee camp. Since his last parole hearing, which was in 2020, he's done a number of things, and the committee at that time encouraged him to do more work, and he's done that. Primarily, he has participated in the STAR program, Substance Treatment and Recovery Program, and now he currently serves as a facilitator 4 days a week at the main prison for other people coming through that program. So it's been extremely impactful for him, and he's been able to share that with other prisoners who are entering that program. So I hope the committee has a chance to ask him some questions about his experience in the STAR program and as a facilitator. He's taken victim awareness. As mentioned, he's recently completed it. Thinking for a change again. He's got his carpentry certification since his last parole hearing, adding that to his welding certification, and he's continued to participate in Alcoholics Anonymous. All total, if you look at his institutional record, he's taken 13 programs that qualify for CTRP credit. Even though, you know, with his sentence, he doesn't accumulate CTRP credit, but he has taken those courses. He also volunteers for the Veterans Club at Camp F, which is a significant experience for him. He's not a veteran himself, but he's been doing that for a number of years. In that, he's found a sense of community. We know that juvenile lifers who have been released have been very successful on the outside. Part of that is the fact they have housing. Mr. Fuller will have that through the Parole Project. He'll have a job. The Parole Project will get him work. They also, you know, a sense of community. He's built that sense of community here at Angola, and that will continue on the outside. Another thing that I think is important just to note is the level of support he has, both family support and community support. Those at headquarters who are in full support of him, as well as his family here. And of course, he'll have the support of the Parole Project. People in the institution who know him, Lori Stone, who is the STAR program coordinator in Mr. Fuller's annual review, commented that Mr. Fuller exceeds expectations, is enthusiastic and trustworthy. Colonel Fuge, security supervisor, commented that Mr. Fuller is no security risk at this time and follows penitentiary rules. Sherry Barton, the ARDC supervisor, commented that Mr. Fuller is polite, respectable, dependable, friendly, and has a calm demeanor. Mr. Fuller, I think, demonstrates that he'll be successful on the outside, and we pray that this committee grants him parole to continue to serve the remainder of his sentence under supervision in the community and continue to demonstrate that he is compliant with rules and has changed and will be successful. Thank you.
Thank you. And earlier, I failed to mention that we do have a representative from the Caddo District Attorney's Office, the Victim Assistance Coordinator, Miss Leona Fitzgerald, and she would like to speak in opposition, and we'd like to hear from you now, Miss Fitzgerald.
morning. Yes, I'm Leone Fitzgerald, and I'm here on behalf of the District Attorney, James Stewart, and the District Attorney's Office. Our office is opposed in this situation, and I do appreciate Mr. Fuller's comments and his acceptance of accountability for what happened. I don't want to go too deep into the facts of the case for that reason, but I do feel like I have to point out just how shocking and senseless this offense was. Mr. Willie Graham was a member of our community. This happened in broad daylight around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There were eyewitnesses to this shooting, and I realized that he was 17 years old, but surely he knew at 17 that this was unacceptable. And basically, he chased Mr. Graham down as he ran away, life, and Mr. Graham was shot in the back twice. And he was still able to get up and run more for his life, and was able to flag down a stranger who drove him to the emergency room. So this was just sort of like stalking an animal, it seems. I'm glad to see that Mr. Fuller has his GED and has experience with welding, but I can't ignore his prison behavior, his 26 write-ups in the amount of time that he's been in prison. And yes, for the past 5 years or so, it looks like he has a clean disciplinary record, but it was terrible before that. And I couldn't help but notice that Mr. Fuller was resentenced in 2016. And at that point, he became eligible for parole. And that is when there was a great uptick in his disciplinary behavior getting better. And also all of the programs, I'm looking at these certificates here and all the classes that he took. And that looks like that was in 2017. So my question is, what was Mr. Fuller doing from 1996 until 2016? Was he taking classes? I have 2 certificates of completion that predate 2017. I have copies of 15 certificates since 2017. So in my mind, that's not long enough. I do think that Mr. Fuller is on the right path. I don't mean to dismiss all the positive things that he's done, but this case is at the top of the list of the most heartless, dastardly murders that I've seen in all my years here. And so it's unconscionable to me how even a young person could plot to do this. This was not a youthful impulse. This was something that he and his co-defendant planned to do, and that he bragged to one of the eyewitnesses about, look, I'm going to go get me one. And so there were at least 8 shots fired, we know. The victim was hit twice. This was an adult crime. And just because his sentence has been amended to allow for parole consideration doesn't mean that he's entitled to it, and that he shouldn't have to work really hard and have a long proven record of his rehabilitation. So, Mr. Graham left behind a family. They're not on today, but he had people who loved him. He was known in the neighborhood. This traumatized a lot of people, eyewitnesses, neighbors who were just out in their yard raking leaves and became witnesses to a murder. A 2-year-old that had to be grabbed and rushed inside for cover whenever these shots rang out. The lady who was driving down the street and ended up taking Mr. Graham to the emergency room. So these are the kinds of crimes that are far-reaching in our community. And we just think that at this point, Mr. Graham's life was worth more than 30 years. And, we want to see more continued progress by Mr. Fuller. At this point, we think that parole would be premature. And, as I said, Mr. Graham deserved better than to leave this world at the age of 53 at the hands of two young men that were looking to earn a quick buck at the expense of another human's life. And so we heartily believe that now is not the time for Mr. Fuller. We feel at this point that parole would deprecate the seriousness of this crime and cause an undue risk to our community. So I do agree with something that Ms. Renata said in the last hearing, that he is on a path forward. And we respectfully request that he be kept on that path forward from Angola. Thank you for giving me time to share my comments.
Thank you. We always appreciate hearing from the DA's perspective. Thank you. All right, Mr. Fuller, I have some questions for you. Your case was, as I said, assigned to me, so I'll take the lead on the interview. When did you first start using drugs? How old were you?
I was around maybe 11, 12 years old when I first got introduced to it.
What were you introduced to first?
Marijuana.
Any alcohol?
Yes, ma'am.
Same age?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, why did you have a gun that day? Did you
That
always
was,
carry a gun?
no, ma'am. No, ma'am. But that day is just, I guess coming up from where I'm from is just to have protection.
And that day was different for some reason. Well, because
Yes,
you said you didn't usually carry a gun,
no, ma'am.
but that day you just decided to do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you given that any thought?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, what you
A
think
lot.
about?
I think that I was so stupid as a young man. I think I made a lot of wrong decisions coming up in life as a young man. Decisions that today I see that they wasn't the right decisions.
Okay, so you say you got your GED, right, since you've been
Yes,
there?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What grade did you finish in school? You said that particular day you skipped school. What grade were you in?
9th grade.
Ninth grade. Hmm. All right. Had you repeated any grades?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about that. Which ones?
I think that's the grade I failed in 9th grade.
Ninth grade, okay. So when you had a hearing in 2020, I believe, as was mentioned, and what were the reasons you were told you were denied at that time?
I don't remember all the reasons, but I know at that time I was still in denial. I didn't take full responsibility for my actions. I didn't take full responsibility for using drugs. I was on drugs and I was in denial. I was ashamed and I just felt, I don't know. I just
So,
felt,
so you're saying you were on drugs at as recently as 2020? Is that what you said?
I didn't use drugs since I've been here. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When's the last time you did that?
Oh, I haven't did it now. It was before 2020, but I haven't done no drugs in years now.
Well, how many years? Most people know.
Since like maybe what, 2017, 18, somewhere up in there.
About the time you thought you might be eligible for parole. Is that what changed you? The hope?
I felt like I had hope again because I honestly thought that I was gonna die here. It's like nothing good has ever happened to me since I've been in the system, and I thought I was gonna die here.
Mhm.
It's like I had no hope that this was my home.
Well, okay, so let's move on. I think that you were told at that hearing, I wasn't on that panel, but I looked at the record and I think you were told that you needed some substance abuse treatment, and the record
Yes,
shows
ma'am.
that you did you completed the STAR program. What'd you get out of that?
Oh, that was a life-changing event because through the STAR program, it taught me about recovery. It taught me about the core beliefs I had then as a kid and coming up now as a man. With the STAR program, a lot of men that have known me over the years here at Angola, they know my life then, even when I was smoking marijuana here. And they see the change in me now to where when they see me today, I get letters now asking me, what you did with your life? Man, how you change your life around like this? Look, man, I need some help. Man, help whatever you doing, man, help me do this. And that makes me feel so good to be able to help another person because I know where you at, because I done been there. So look, come on, talk to me. And I will talk to them and I will introduce them to my facilitator. And we would do a survey on them. She would do a background check. And everybody, usually we wouldn't have number 8 people in the class. Right now we at 20. We don't go up under 20 because you have so many people from even the out of camps sending me word, telling me, man, I hear about what you're doing with your life. Man, I like what you're doing with your life. Man, how can I be a part of that? And I want to help because there's so many of my friends have OD'd up here and died off of drugs. And with the decisions I made as a youngster, now I can do something to help now. I can bring men this way. I can help get men off of drugs. That is a feeling I never thought I have, that I never thought I would love like this, to be able to help another man change his life.
Well, one of the questions I was going to ask you was tell me about your community service work. I think you just did that.
That was just a
And
part
also
of it.
your work with the vets.
Yes, ma'am.
That's
And
important.
a lot of times they might send a letter around the Camp F. We'll fill our name out to go over to Camp F and fellowship and talk to the brothers over there. We'll go over there and play them in basketball or flag football and sit down and eat with them and talk with them. I also do that. I also was getting with the brother Tyrone Glover. I became an active member of the round table with him. I asked him for help. Man, when I get out of here, can I help now? And if I'm eligible to get parole, will you help me when I get out there?
Okay, I have a couple of more comments, but I'm going to defer to my colleagues for any questions before I make those comments. Mr. Tillis, any questions? Ms. Prater?
Not really. I realized during the interview, the time you got most passionate was when Ms. Renata was talking to you about the STAR program and all the good that was, and you became a different person describing that. And
Because I love it.
Yes, sir, I can tell. And you've done some good work there. I want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you. I done helped so many men. I never thought I can do that. But the way I used to go to Ron Hicks and ask for help and he would help me, now I'm in his shoes to where you got a lot of men coming to me. Now I can help you. I can talk to you because I done been where you at. And now I can help you get to this point now. So I always tell them, man, come on, man, talk to me. I always was good at talking to people.
I
Always.
can tell.
Yeah.
All right,
Never,
let us
I
talk.
never,
Hold on.
all right.
Didn't mean to start all that.
So, Mr. Fuller, I'm about ready to vote, but I wanted to make you aware of a couple of things. In
Yes,
the
ma'am.
record, we do have a letter from Mr. Willie Graham's daughter. This is what she has said. Her name is Tatiana Graham. Ms. Graham is unopposed to early release. She said, I believe he has served enough time on this crime. I love and miss my dad, but he has been gone for 30 years, and this guy was a kid when he shot him. I hope that he has learned his lesson and become a better person and will make something good out of his life if he gets out. How do you feel about that? All right, I understand. And so there's one other letter we have, and I feel compelled that I have to at least state it for the record. And this is from the state representative from District 4, that's Joy Walters. And she's written a very nice letter in support, saying that she believes, and this is just paraphrasing in part, she believes in a justice system that not only holds individuals accountable, but also recognizes growth, rehabilitation, and the capacity for change. And I think we see that in you. So I'm ready to vote. Mr. Fuller, my vote today will be to grant your parole based on your work, the comments by the warden, the support that you have, and particularly that of the Parole Project. I think it's very important that if you are successful today, you don't go back to Caddo Parish. I know your sister or somebody said they wanted to take you to be baptized there. That's something that can be happening in the Baton Rouge area. And then when you finish with their programming, because they'll have some programming for you, I would require community service work, at least 8 hours a quarter, and that is to speak to at-risk youth.
That's mine. I would love to do that.
All right, I'm just one vote. Mr. Tillis.
I concur with, Mr. Renata.
Mr. Prater.
Okay, this is a very difficult job, but somebody that with your behavior and your all the positives, you make it less difficult for us to make decisions. Because of your age at the time of the crime, because of the support from your family, the Parole Project's willingness to be involved, your behavior while you've been incarcerated, the victim letter, and the passion you've shown during your interview, my vote also is to grant this.
Your parole's been granted. Mr. Fuller, good luck.
Approved?
Yeah, approved, and I'm all right with it. I am all right with it. So this went into half of our overtime hour. I didn't think it would run that long, but I think it was worth it. Let's face it. I put in the chat. I put a poll in. Is he believable? 43% of you said no, but 43% of you weren't sure. 14% of you were a yes. Dude was 17. He's been in there 30 years. And the victim's daughter said, let him go. So these things are never easy. And, we talk about the parole board so much here because they do things that we don't always understand. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Sometimes they make all sorts of sense. Sometimes they make no sense at all. But we've always acknowledged that their job is incredibly difficult. Because even if they're really certain of a guy, they're taking a risk, aren't they, by letting the person out? But I think this was right in this case, again, because by all accounts, he's doing the right things. He's doing what you're supposed to try to do when you're in prison, and that's not become institutionalized as Judge Boyd always warns people, but rather work on yourself. And it appears that's what he has done. And again, the victim's daughter's like, dude was 17. He served 30 years. Let him go. So here's hoping that works out. Here's hoping that he leads a good life with the time he has left, fits in well to the community, becomes a benefit to the community. I kind of think he might, but we shall see, won't we? Granny says the victim's daughter sealed it for me. If she's willing, so am I. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Because it probably should come down to them, at least in part. I mean, the board, it's their choice, but I think the family's wishes after the fact here should carry some weight. And if the family is acknowledging that he's been punished enough, then, unless he was horrible in front of the parole board, which he was not, then I think it's the right choice. I mean, her opinion would not have mattered if he was a complete mess in front of that board. But he had himself together. I think he showed the right amount of contrition, and I believe it was genuine. He's been working on improving himself, so I think it was good. Hey, thanks for watching this clip from TCF Live. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And you can join us weekdays live, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, right here on this channel.